signs: the sun, moon, and stars. Here we are, back at the Dendera Zodiac code. The sun in Spica for the Feast of Tabernacles. It's taken me some time to break down this code deeper, but I have found the proof that I was looking for. Let's dig deeper. Here we are, 9/19/33 AD. Sun and Spica align for the Feast of Tabernacles. Let's explore a little more so we can see this sign and the context of the code. (9/19/33 AD). We're focused on the sun. We're going to go back 15 days. Excuse me. Okay, here we are, 9/4/33 AD. We need to pay attention to a couple of the things that are within the constellation of Virgo, because this constellation is telling us a great and marvelous story in the heavens. As we look here, we see the sun, Mars, Mercury aligned with Spica, or outside of the womb area. Let's scroll in closer to the sun and look what we see. If we see the line here from Parima, this is considered the womb line of Virgo until this bottom line where Spica is, which is considered the harvest or the birth. And if you measure the sun's distance between here and here, as it travels across the ecliptic, it's 15 days. And in the Dendera, if you do your research, you will see that it is lining up with the Feast of Tabernacles, with all of the measurements of time through the ecliptic and the wobble of the earth and the transition of the ages. We are not in the same time as it was back then. So what we're going to do is decipher when these things happened and what was the sign back then, so that we could see and find the signs today. Because I believe we will be looking in the exact same spot today for these feasts. And in order to align our time correctly, we have to look at this location as where the story is being told. So back in 33 AD, we're looking at 9/4 to 9/19, with 9/4 being the Feast of Trumpets and 9/19 being the Feast of Tabernacles. Let's watch the sun transition through this period. One more time. You can see how the alignment comes. Excuse me, my computer's been really freezing up today. And we go back one day. I want you to pay attention to something here. This was also part of this sign. If we see in 33 AD, 9/10, the alignment of the sun and the moon in the constellation of Virgo. Excuse me, my computer has been going crazy. I think it knows what I'm up to. And here you see on the 19th that it crosses the line. And at the midnight time, it's right there on the line with Spica, announcing the Feast of Tabernacles. Exactly 15 days after its alignment with Parima, and Parima is the star that is marking the womb of Virgo, and this line is where the planets come across the ecliptic and transition into the womb area. They don't have to come directly into this. The signs are more on the ecliptic. When they do go directly through, like the planets and some of the asteroids do, it tells a stronger story, but the sun is essentially always going to be on the ecliptic. So what we see is the alignment of the sun and Spica on the 19th. And what I have been looking for is the proof of the Messiah's birth being 9/11 in 3 BC. And what I wanted to do is prove during his life period at what the phases of the sun, moon, and stars were, and how that tied in with what I just learned by reading the book 2019, End Times in 2019, where it goes into the section on the Dendera. I've done a lot of Dendera research and have seen how it closely resembles the ancient Mazzaroth story, and it gives even more details that we needed in order to decipher the Mazzaroth story in the sky. And it blatantly goes into detail about the calculations between our time now and the time then. And we know that at that time we were looking at the Feast of Tabernacles and the sun and Spica aligning for that feast. So let's go back and look at 911 and see what we can find. The first thing that I want you to recognize is something that really stood out to me with my modern research with the asteroids. What you see here on 911 33 AD is Amphitrite, right next to the sun. On the day that we're looking for Christ's birth. And another thing that I found that was absolutely marvelous, stunning, amazing information is, if you know anything about the ancient times and the festivals and feasts of the ancient times, we're looking at the festival of the dedication of the temple, starting on the 8th day of the 7th month, or the 1st month, depending on how you look at it. So if we have the festival of dedication starting on the 8th day, and we have the 4th day being the 1st day, then the 11th is the 8th day, and that makes the birth of Christ the feast or festival of dedication. And if he was born at the beginning of the festival of dedication, then his circumcision would have come day 1, the Feast of Tabernacles. This information is amazing, and I can only have found it by doing deep research to prove out the things that I had seen and heard and read. Do your due diligence, brides, followers of Messiah. This is vital for us to do as Bereans, is to prove out the things or the messages or the codes that the Master brings us. This is our job. We are here to edify each other, and I hope this edified you today.